Hello everyone and welcome back to the Armory tab for USSR and Wargame Red Dragon. Today we're comparing two rather odd units, the BMPT and the Conqueror's M, and I say rather odd not because each unit itself is rather strange, but because these are very different roles. The reason I've picked them is from the perspective of a new to middling player like myself, looking at USSR, looking at one activation point left that they want to throw into the vehicle tab, and having to do the mental calculus between the Conqueror's M's ATGMs and the BMPT's more generic and supporting fire role. So Rara is still here with us as our expert for the USSR. Why don't you take it away with which one of these you go for and why?
BMPT, case closed. Well, I mean, okay, so let me tell you why. Right, so the Conqueror's M are typically vehicle-mounted ATGMs usually suck. And here's why. Because look at the stealth rating on the Conqueror's M, it's poor. Usually when the second that the ATGM fires from the vehicle, it gets spotted by the enemy. It's very susceptible to like counter battery or even mortar fire because it's only like one armor all round. And also, yeah, it's just not as good as infantry born ATGMs. Like if you want to bring ATGMs in your deck, bring them in the infantry tab.
Now
Whereas
hold
on
on.
the
So
BMPT,
a couple of days ago, when we were talking about tanks, you mentioned that tanks rarely engage at maximum range, and from my understanding, correct me if I'm wrong, a lot of that has to do with smoke micro as well as just forest not always being that far apart. Is that sort of what makes the poor stealth rating important? Is you can almost sneak up to these guys and direct fire them with the tanks that they're supposed to be hunting?
yeah, exactly like in that situation, like if you're in between forest gaps and the Conqueror's M shoots at one of your tanks, like even the lightest of tanks is gonna knock out the Conqueror's M
And that's 45 points
before the
just
missile
gone.
even. Yeah, and the Conqueror's M wouldn't even hit because it travels so slowly.
Gotcha, gotcha. So let's hear a couple quick things about the BMPT, and we'll call this comparison a day.
Yeah, the BMPT is a beast of a machine. If you look at the 2A70 and the 2A72, this vehicle cannot actually fire both of these at the same time. So you can cycle them by switching the main gun on and off. If you're going for close range fire support, the highest HE DPS is actually the autocannon and the grenade launcher. What's more is that there is 15 front armor on this bad boy, and which means even if you're facing like Apellas carrying infantry like Rima 85, or even Kus. Oh well, Kusjager is a bit too much. But let's say if you're fighting high AP enemy infantry, they're gonna get one shot on your BMPT, and then they're gonna get stun locked and die with the autocannon and the grenade launcher. So definitely BMPT. Although I would not use the BMPT alone, of course, being supported by Saperi, VDV, and Motoshoki in the forest. That's where the BMPT really shines, and it's quite easy to get back the 60 points that you spend on this.
Okay, well that's our comparison, and I think that may even wrap up USSR. We'll have other nations and coalitions for you guys with the expert unit comparisons, well hopefully expert unit comparisons, and some advice on general deck building. So, we'll see you guys again real soon.